Good evening, parents. Welcome to Woodlands Ring Primary School. I'm Mr. Thomas Bo, the Vice Principal of Woodlands Ring. Today, I'll be sharing with you some of the key engagement material for Primary 1 parents. I know some of you may be first-time parents of a primary school-going children, so please sit back and relax and enjoy what we'll be sharing with you later. First of all, I'd like to introduce the year head for lower primary, Mrs. Album. She's the main person in charge of the lower primary block. Next, I would like to introduce the form teacher of Primary 1. First, for 1 Esther, we have Madam Lee, we have Mr. Rahim. For 1 Bougainvillea, we have Miss Alfie and Madam Ma. Next. From 1 Carnation, we have Miss To, Mrs. Ong, Mrs. Izati. Next. From 1 Daisy, we have Madam Norang, Madam Yang Guiping. Next. From 1 Gardenian, we have Mrs. Lim, we have Mr. Muhammad. From 1 Hibiscus, we have Madam Malaki and we have Madam Maraj. Next, from 1 Ixora, we have Miss Mok, we have Mrs. Julia Che. From 1 Jasmine, we have Miss Shahira and we have Miss Yao. Okay, for those first-time parents of Woodlands Primary School, I'd like to share with you the general directions of Woodlands Ring Primary School and also some of the unique programs, especially designed for your child who are in Primary 1 this year. Our school direction. Now, in Woodlands Ring Primary School, we have a strong belief and a school motto that we will do our best. Our philosophy is every child is unique and is able to excel. Our goal and mission is to help to create a group of students who are passionate learners and gracious citizens. And to do that, we actually want to make sure that our children is able to achieve to become lifelong learners and effective members of the society. We have 5 school key values which we deem as I care values. I being integrity, CA being care, and the RE is respect, responsibility, and resilience. Next. Now, in Woodlands Ring, we believe that the student outcome will be a holistic education, value education, service to the community. And through this, we hope that we will develop passionate learners and gracious citizens. What do you mean by passionate learners? Passionate learners means we will have a lively curiosity. The childlike lively curiosity is very important in terms of learning and also to deepen their learning experience in Woodlands Ring Primary School. We want them to be motivated, persevere when faced with challenges, because in their learning journey, they will face many, many challenges and hurdles. We want to provide them the opportunity, the platform for them to meet those challenges bravely and able to overcome them. Next, self-directed. I think taking ownership of the learning is very important. We hope that we imbue our children with the necessary skills and strategy to become self-directed. Now, gracious citizen. I think it's very important that we have a set of values. In Woodlands Ring, we have 5 sets of values, which I mentioned earlier. I care values, which will help them to help our students know whatever actions they execute in school, at home, or in the future, they will be guided by these values of I care values. I think also we want to develop a very caring and a very caring environment so that our students will contribute to the betterment of the whole society in the world. Next. What are the uniquely P1 programs? First of all, PAL. I think you will see this PAL lesson. If you're first-time parents in Woodlands Ring or first-time parents who have kids going to a primary school, this is something very new for primary school. It's a PAL lesson. It's actually a 4-period lesson that's conducted every week, and we have unique theme for each term, which the kids will learn different skill sets, different activities, and the focus of this is to build their social emotion competency and competence. Right, so this is something we have. Now, in Woodlands Ring, we also, besides the academic endeavors that we believe in, but we also make sure that the other aspect is equally important, which is the physical education. So we have a sports enrichment program, which will put in certain programs and certain activities and games that we will want to introduce to your children, and to so that they eventually will find their niche or areas that they're good in, the strength, and also if they're not so good in certain sports, they can also learn the sports and become better. Next, we also have value in actions activity. Because at primary one, so we are focused on the home-based home-based BIA activities. Will be conducted in this term and also in term 3. All right, next one, classroom cleaning. Being caring must start from your own personal space. To make sure their own personal space are well developed, we make sure that we institute a very important 5 minutes after each day to clean up their personal space and their workspace. All right. Next, beyond school, I think this is something that we will, it's still tentative because we're based on national posture due to the evolving COVID situation. We will look at it. Possible, we will arrange activity or learning experience beyond the school, and we are planning to go to Jacob Ballas Garden and Botanic Garden. Now, very importantly, also the physical health. We also look at the general health of our student well-being, which is the school health team service will be coming to Woodlands Ring to conduct annually health check on our students. For primary one, it'll be on visual and the general health condition. So it's important for us to submit the health booklet so that a good record of your child's health status will be updated over time. All right. Next, P1 assessment. I think we mentioned about the different aspect. I think assessment is also part of an important and integrated part of our learning. So in primary one, we don't have what we call end of the year exam. Like previously for first time parents, we don't have those semester exam. We have a set of holistic assessment, ongoing and continuous to monitor your child learning at any point in time. So from there, the child can learn, can make refinement and adjustment to their own outcome so that they can become better and more effective learner. Okay, so that's also linked back to earlier when I mentioned self-directed learning. Taking ownership of your own personal learning is something that we hope to imbue in our children so that they can become more confident learner. Okay, next, school-based assessment. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we will monitor our students in a very formative way so that learning is important because the intrinsic motivation must come from within. Right? The child must be willing to learn and want to learn. That's something that we hope to bring forward in their learning endeavor so that the learning assessment will be a very progressive, not summative, but it's a gradual snapshot of your child's learning at a certain point of time in the year. All right. Next, as I mentioned, no weighted assessment. No marks, no percentage mark will go to the final overall score. And we adapt a range of tools, writing tasks, performance tasks, topical review to give us a gauge. It's important for us to understand where our children or where your child is in terms of learning, in the learning continuum, okay, the learning journey. So that we can better support children in their learning, and we can also provide the necessary stretch program or support program to help them to maximize their potential. All right. Okay, next. Sorry, give me a minute. All right. Oh, sorry. Okay. The teacher will gauge, as I mentioned, so it's based on the different sets of skills and also tools that the teachers have in hand. Well, the teacher will try to find a balance in terms of their learning and also to provide timely feedback and support to help your child to improve. So we will have a so-called quantitative descriptor. So we use to report your child's learning at primary 1 and primary 2 instead of just a score, because a score of a grade or score doesn't mean a lot, but having qualitative descriptors will give you a better understanding of what your child has achieved at primary 1 and primary 2. It will be quite similar. Maybe I'll show you an example how it looks like in the reporting scheme. All right. For example, let's take math. Okay, so there are certain learning outcomes that we want to achieve at primary 1. So this is an example: understanding number quotient, representative, and place value. So if the child is doing well, we will use the word accomplish. If the child is competent, means good at it, so we put competent. If the child is still needs certain help, certain areas that we need to improve on, like for example, adding and subtraction reliably and using frequently using number facts and also effective use of algorithm, maybe that's an area that your child may be weak in. Maybe you want to focus on that area. So this is a very holistic in terms of representative of the outcome that learning outcome that we will share with you at the end of the year or in a very timely manner. All right. Next. It's also important that I think there's this particular award that is given to the child. We call it EduSafe Merit Award and a Good Progress Award. How do we quantify that? First of all, there's no marks, right? So the EMB and the GPA will be based on learning disposition observed by the teacher in the class over the course of the whole year 2022. So it's very important for us to understand that. I think it's very important to understand that the learning disposition is equally important because it's to show us how your child has done, what are the efforts that he put in to achieve the outcomes that there is the remarkable outcome, the outstanding results that he got for end of the year. So what are learning disposition? Positive behavior attitude towards learning is very important. That's why I mentioned earlier. Learning is a continuum. It's an ongoing process that we focus in terms of the attitude, the behavior, in order for them to achieve the kind of outcome they want. Now, like for example, your child is maybe developing in certain areas, but over the course of the year, he or she put in the effort. We will affirm the effort, and that is the affirmation. That is what I call learning disposition. So we will try our best to support the learning in the different aspects. So if the child is good in certain area, very accomplished, and the child is willing to put in the effort to strengthen it, and it's also a good area that we'll look at. All right. So positive behavior and attitude towards learning is very important. All right. So that's called learning disposition. Next. Okay. In a nutshell, so some of the descriptors in the learning disposition or learning we look at in terms of perseverance, engagement, curiosity, and teamwork. These are the main area. So, for example, perseverance, we want the child to work at the task without giving up. So we will do our best. That's aligned to our school motto. We also want our children to engage in what they're doing and also enjoy what they do. So the love for learning is very, very important. All right. So passionate learners, that attribute comes very nicely in this area. Curiosity, show interest in the things that's happening around them, and also working together to achieve a common goal. So this is very nicely aligned to our school vision of passionate learners and gracious citizens. And you realize that these descriptors are this disposition, is actually aligned to primary 1 and primary 2 outcomes. Okay, next I'll look at it. Give me one. All right. Okay. So movement for the lower primary block for primary 1 and primary 2, the promotion will be viewed as one block. So students who are in primary 1 class will move on to primary 2. Okay, at the end of primary 2, they will be split into different grouping based on certain considerations. For example, because we also want to can be both academic and non-academic consideration, because we want to make sure that we want to customize our curriculum and pace to meet the students' needs. We have a different group of students at a different pace of learning. So at our P2, we will channel them into different classes so that we can utilize our very limited resources to support children. Like certain children we need greater support in certain areas, we will provide that support. Certain students who are very good in certain areas or accomplished in certain areas, we want to stretch them. So these are the different programs that we are putting in place at the end of P2 so that we channel them to different P3 classes, and that will support them in the year 2025. All right, 2 years time. Yeah, sorry, 2024. My apologies, I miscalculated. So this is very important. And also, we also make sure that when we move from primary 2 and primary 2 to primary 3, we'll make sure that there's a good social mixing. You will see that also because at primary 1 and 2, the class size remains at 30, but when we go to primary 3, the class size will increase by 25%, by 1/3 to 40 pupils in each class. So that's why we make sure that we also have a good mixture of students from different learning different groups, academic groups, so they come together, so learning will be richer. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, we will have different support provided for students at the different classes to meet the intervention program, the enrichment program, and also the stretch and support program provided to help the children to realize their potential. Okay. Next. Okay, next. How do we, I think it's very important to look at the whole aspect of learning. Physical, as we mentioned earlier, intellectual is very important, the academic area, the emotion and social aspect is very important. So we need to support our children in this four aspect of called the PIES. P-I-E-S, the PIES. So let's look through how we can support. I mentioned about physical, I mentioned about a bit of intellectual. They also mentioned about some emotional and some social. Later, I will dive in a bit deeper on how we can provide our children emotional and social support. Okay. Now, I think you are a very important aspect in terms of your child's learning. So we believe in the family. The family is a very core important aspect of our cornerstone of our program to support your child. So it's a tripartite partnership that we have. We hope that we can get you on board to support your child in their learning. So we believe in that. We hope that you can come on in the whole journey, the whole learning journey for a child in Williams Primary School, the 6 years, as our partners. Right? We truly believe in that. So that do let us know if there are any change in the family circumstances. Do inform us. But if there are changes, please make sure that there are documentation, proper documentation. Please provide us, because we realize that a lot of information will be shared through PG, and we need to have the proper documentation to ensure that the structure of the family remains what as is legally supported with a legally supported document. All right. So if you have any clarification, please approach my colleagues I mentioned earlier for any clarification or assistance. All right. Thank you. Next. Now, I think parents, how we can support at home is to set out a certain space and time for your child to revise their work. Revising their work is not just doing homework. It's to spend a bit, maybe 15 to 30 minutes every day after doing your homework, to look through, to go through things that they have done, like for example, correction, where they have not done well, where they have done well. So this is very important. All of us always look at where we have not done well, but we also must look at where we have done well. How can we strengthen areas that we have not done well? How do we stretch the areas that we have done well? So that's very important. Give them some time and space. Now we need to set a certain routine. It's very important because you cannot be ad hoc. Oh, you do this. So the children at the young age need to develop this routine. If they have good routine set up for them at the beginning of their learning, it will carry on this set of routine later part in their study. Maybe upper primary and into the secondary schools, even to the poly. So that set of routine is very important. Let us do it right at the young age. All right. Now, also we need your support, as mentioned. I think it's important for our children to do their homework on time. There will be a homework assigned, but we will manage it. We won't have a lot of work given to it in one stretch. We will periodically space out the amount of work that will be given. So make sure that your child has time to complete the work and give it back to the teacher on time, so the teacher can mark it and provide the timely feedback to support or stretch your child. Okay, as I mentioned, good learning study habits is important. So as I'm putting in your best effort in your homework is important, because it's only through putting those best effort then you will realize that where you are good in and where you're not so good in. Okay. Now I think attendance is very important. In Singapore, the compulsory education act, where any Singapore citizen above 6 and under 15 must attend school regularly. And in our Williams Primary School, attendance is monitored, and it's to make sure that, first of all, because you entrust your child with us, we must make sure that they attend lessons accordingly, and we will make sure that their safety is paramount. So any children who did not attend school for any other reason, we call it willful absenteeism, will have to be addressed seriously, right? Okay, so any absence will need to be covered by a doctor MC. Sometimes if you are not able to see a doctor, we accept 5 letter from parents, but not too many. You'll be 5 such letter, right, per semester. Okay, absence without valid reasons may affect your child's conduct rate and the eligibility for awards like I mentioned, EMB and the GPA, the Good Progress Award. All right. If you have any other reasons that you're not able to attend school, please do let your child class form teacher know so that they can update you whether the absenteeism, that being absent from school is valid or not. Okay. There are many reasons because especially with COVID, the evolving COVID situation too, when your child is absent from school because of certain medical conditions or medical reasons, it may be valid. Please, if you're not sure, please check in with your home teacher and they will check in with the school. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, if you need to be absent, in the event you need to be away from school for a very good reason, please write into Ms. Gita, the principal, to the form teacher for permission or due to some reason, but do let us know why you need to leave need to be away from school for a very good reason. It could be medical, it could be some family circumstances, but please let us know. Now, example of non-valid reasons for long-term absenteeism will be going on holiday during school term time. That is a no-no. Okay. Staying at home to take care of your sibling. Sometimes you may have some challenging family situation, but that is not something that we allow for to be absent from school. Overslept, mix the school bus. That's not valid reasons. Okay. Next, right. Now, punctuality is very important. So try not to be late in terms of coming to school. Try to be in school by 7:25. Students arrive after 7:30 will be considered late. Students who are late for more than 5 times will receive a warning letter. All right. So again, I mentioned warning letter will impact your child's in terms of concentration for what if it's 5 more than 3 warning letter per year. All right. Now, if your child it's not well that day or there's some issues that he's struggling at home, he will realize that he will not be in school before 7:30. But I still encourage him to come to school because it's better late than never. Because coming to school is very important because your child's learning will not be impeded by will not be impeded. It will be impeded if he doesn't come to school at all. Right? Okay, with that, I'd like to say a big thank you and have a great evening ahead. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us, and I hope you have a great evening ahead. Thank you very much.